So this weekend we have another baseball tournament every weekend.
Well, congratulations on another one. I mean, you guys are always at the tournaments, like every single weekend. Your boys are amazing. And Shelly, honestly, I think about it and I think about all of those tournaments you go to, and I don't really know how you do it. Like, seriously, I have to admit, I think you're amazing. I'm glad I have girls. If I were doing, well, I guess the girls could do sports too, but if I were to do sports every single weekend, yeah, I'd die young.
You'd pass away.
I would
You'd,
die young.
you'd
Yeah.
leave- yeah.
Like, I'm serious. I don't know how you do it. You're phenomenal. Like those boys are so lucky to have you. But the thought of every weekend just having to up and go, and like you're up at 5 a.m. with those sandwiches, and you're outside in the rain and the snow, and it's yeah.
Welcome back to Creative Mamas Unplugged, the place where creativity and motherhood chat meet real life. Today, Cherice and I dive into our world of parenting middle schoolers, social media, and how we navigate it with our kids. And trigger warning, we do talk about some heavy stuff that our kids could potentially be influenced by online. We also talk about Cherice's ability to throw amazing birthday parties for her kids. We connect on why our houses will always feel like homes, and stating that this is why we can't have nice things is often the biggest blessing. We unpack influencers online who our kids are looking up to now, and what cringe factors we often present as moms just by being ourselves. We thank you for joining us and for being supporters of our podcast. Let's dive in with our chat.
Being a mom is nonstop, but it's fun.
It is so fun. It is so fun. And I have to say, this middle school age for my oldest is, oh God, it's just so precious. I'm finding myself feeling as emotional and sentimental about this middle school age as I was with the toddler age.
Agreed.
Right? I'm feeling like, oh my God, this is just like, I want to hold on to these moments. I want to hold on to this middle school time because high school's next. And, I keep thinking like, oh, my kids just, they're in a time of their life where I want to hold on to it a little bit. I didn't always feel like that through elementary school. I mean, I sort of did, but I feel like this middle school year is, just having the boys in the back seat and like hearing them talk about their friends and talk about like their video games and the things they say to each other and the way that they just act with each other. And, the fact that, I don't know, we had this guy come in. I actually want to have him on the pod. I'm going to message him today. We had a guy come in and his name is Jordan something. And his account is I'm just a kid with an IEP. And he's this, an adult stage and talks about his time during school with an IEP. And he talks a lot about his mom. And I followed him for a while because he's got a lot of great content out there about just kind of like hang in there, listen to your mom, follow your IEP, know what your superhero strengths are, all these things. And he's just got some really great presence on Instagram. And so my son came home yesterday and he said, Mom, we had this guy, his name is I'm Just a Kid with an IEP, and he spoke at our school. And I was like, oh my God, no way. I saw that come through, but I wasn't sure when it was. And I forgot to talk to him about it. And I guess the guy had like met my son and like introduced him. He got something signed. He got a T-shirt, and he really inspired him. And so I was watching this video today, this recap this morning of this guy in this school in the auditorium with all the kids and all these boys like in a line. This guy's like a celebrity, and they're trying to get him to sign stuff. They're hugging him. He's talking to them, and I'm just looking at this, and I'm just like, wow, to have like somebody who talks about something that in past has always been viewed as a weakness, right? Like dyslexia has always been looked at as sort of like a disability or weakness, but really it's such a strength. And to have someone like that who's cool and he's sporty and he looks cool, to be a motivation for a lot of these boys who are like 13, 14 years old, I just think is so fascinating. And it just fills me with so much joy to know that that's out there. And my kid came home and what he said to me was, I said, I follow this guy on Instagram. I love his messaging. And he always talks about his mom, which I just think that's really funny, And Colin was like, I know. And I said the same thing. I said that, yep, my mom, that's my girl right there. She's my girl. And I was like, well, I'll just go die now. I can die. If everything ended right here, I would be, like,
Oh
you
my God.
heard that like affirmation from your kids, but like in this context where, I've been fighting for that for a long time, for all of his whatever he needs in school for a really long time, as we all do. We fight for our kids in the school system or with any structure around education. Like we advocate for our kids. And I just feel like that moment I was like, that if it all ended right here, I think I'd be okay.
Oh my
In the words
God.
of Kelly Park.
Kelly Park.
Kelly Park. Can we talk about Kelly?
Hi, Kelly. Yeah. Oh no, that's really beautiful.
Do you have any good stories?
I have been close with another mom at the school, and we've been, like carefully monitoring the text exchanges and whatnot that our children have with each other. And it so happens that right now, my kids don't have TikTok or anything like that. They do look at YouTube Reels, but the way the algorithms are and the way there's some pretty scary people out there that are sponsoring ads that are targeting young girls right now, and they're popping up all of the time. And in fact, my friend's daughter went in and spoke to the principal and showed the principal all of these videos, and the principal was even shocked. It's like, what? So
wait, so you mean like on TikTok, the algorithm is created and then it'll keep showing you certain videos, but when you're watching YouTube, there is no algorithm?
There is with YouTube as well.
Oh,
yeah. But I think that these particular videos were TikTok, and a lot of the preteen and teen girls are watching them right now. And there are these false tests that are you depressed? Take this test. And then these kids are taking these tests, and then they're immediately like, yes, you're depressed. And then it will switch to a video about how satisfying it is to cut yourself. But it's like becoming a trend, because they're like, you can release your normal teen emotions, hormones, sadness. You're not depressed. You're not depressed. You're going through something. This is where, these kids need more support with like therapy and group talk about what it's like to go through these, hormonal shifts. You're not depressed. If you're depressed, you're in bed all day, you can't get out, you know what I mean? And kids can get depressed. And yes, every child has their own, experience. And there are some families out there that perhaps are struggling more, and the child is suffering more. But to promote these videos, and also the eating disorder stuff is coming back too, sort of promoting
like the trend, the eating disorder stuff.
The trend. Yeah. Yeah. So it was really enlightening for me, because I was like, okay, I'm very, very grateful that I'm so close to my girls. And I think that the only thing any parent can do right now out there is just remain close to their children, be vulnerable, show them a safe space. Don't just be like, you're beautiful the way you are. You don't need to worry about it, because inside they might be suffering. So I try to meet my child on her level and say, listen, I'm not going to be the kind of parent who says, you're just beautiful, you're great, don't worry about anything. Because as much as I think you are beautiful and you are great, you don't need to worry about anything. I know what it's like to be a human. I know what it's like to have hormones. I know what it's like to feel. And let's talk about it. Like, what are you feeling? And how can I be of support to you? And we can talk through this together, because there's a lot of false information out there. And whether I completely block your phone, I know you're going to be seeing things from your friends. So how do we solve this together? I want to talk about everything. Let's talk about everything. I think that, I don't know if my way is the best way, but I feel confident knowing that she will always come to me first. But yeah, we have to stay on top of these things, Shelly.
Well, yeah. And they're coming to you because you're not going to be judgmental about it. I think that's like a huge, I feel like the not being judgy about the things that they're saying or the things that are coming up, or, where, it's going to happen. I mean, it's like, they're going to see different images of women and girls and bodies and fashion and skin and all of these things online out there. And I don't just remember having any of that when we were growing up. Like, I just remember, I mean, I remember like watching like the actresses on soap operas. Like, I think I would watch like Falcon Crest in Dallas. And I was like looking at like Sue Ellen. And I was just like, she's beautiful, but she's an adult. And like, I'll get there when I'm an adult. Like, I don't remember having like Punky Brewster wasn't like the person I was trying to be. You know what I mean? Like, Claire from Facts of Life was awesome and all, but I wasn't like jealous of her and trying to be her, you know? I feel like I didn't have that like influence at that time, like the girls have now, and boys too, for sure. For sure. And I think a lot I find with the boy stuff, I see a lot with like, especially a lot with like these like YouTubers and stuff. I see a lot of wealth. There's a lot of like focus on wealth. Like everybody has a lot of money, like their houses are big. They have these great cars, especially, you know, my boys follow like a lot of athletes, like these athletes who drive nice cars, and they're, you know, they're coming in and out of these big homes, and they have certain clothes. And I think like that is an influence. You know, I think they know where they come from, but I think it's still like either an idea that they want to have it, or they value it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's also an influence too. But yeah, it's out there, man. And you're right. We can take away and we can do all the things and we can monitor to the best of our ability. But then it's like at some point, things are going to happen out of our control. Kids are going to be exposed to things out of our control. I mean, I think I even told you guys, like you know, had my kid find out about certain videos through like class chats, like classroom chats with their teachers. Like they have like they had like a 7th grade like group chat, and some of their teachers were on it, and certain videos came through on that, which I would have otherwise not shown my kids. But they saw the certain videos that I was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess we have to talk about this now because you've seen it. But,
Right.
you know, banning the TikTok, banning the YouTube, I thought that would have done it, but it doesn't, you know?
It doesn't. No, they see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, okay, funny stories.
Well, I purposely cringe my kids in the house because then I can go full out. I can't do it in public because then I'll actually get embarrassed at myself. I'll cringe out my own. I'll embarrass my own self. I get embarrassed very easily, but I like to cringe them out in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
They'll like, you know, they'll be eating at the counter and I'll be in the kitchen part and I'll be making food, and then they'll talk about something, or they'll be talking to each other. They'll be talking to me, and then I'll just bust out songs we had no business listening to as kids, but we did. Let me lick you up and down till you say stop, and start doing like just dancing, provocative dancing in the kitchen. Like now I'm making them listen to it, but as I'm dancing, they're like, "Mom, stop dancing," or they'll be telling me something, and then I'll just start like chugging across the floor, like doing the shimmy. And they get so mad when I dance when they're talking to me. I'm still here, still got the moves.
Got the moves, mama.
I got the moves. I got the grooves. I got the 90s R&B on hand, ready to go at any moment.
You will. And you know what? They love you for that. As cringe as you are, and I think as cringe as I am, they secretly really like it.
I think they do really like it. Well, you know, I was speaking with a friend the other day, and she was saying how, and her kids are older. They are out of college. And she was saying, you know, in retrospect, she just had this really great perspective. Like in retrospect, her kids are out of the house, it's she and her husband, and they're looking for this like next part of their life before retirement. Okay. So she was saying, like, you know, when my kids were like your kids' age, I was stressed all the time. Like I was stressed. I was trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. And I don't think my kids liked that version of me. And looking back, like I didn't love that version of me. And now I'm in this phase where she's part of the, like, you know, this whole, like, we don't care club thing, like premenopausal, menopausal, like she's just like, I don't have any fucks to give. And I just feel like looking back, I see how different I was, but I have to get everyone here. I have to get everyone there. And I just didn't like that part of myself. And I keep thinking about that. I'm like, that's just so interesting. Like when your kids are out of college, even because when they're in college, you still got a horse in the race, right? You're paying tuition, or they're still on your insurance, or they're still young enough to where you're really, really checking in with them all the time, probably. But at this point, you know, when your kids are out of that, I guess you have this ability to really turn around and look back. And I just keep thinking of that and thinking, you know, I always try to keep the house light and act like a fool. Because I feel like my mom did that. And I think that's why our house was always just kind of so fun, So I always just try to do that. I try to just, do things that I did as a kid with my kids, just to keep, because it's, you got to keep it light. It's hard enough, it's rough out there.
It is. It really is rough out there. And I grew up, pretty poor. And we had a lot of dance friends who, were so wonderful. And their parents had a lot more money than us, but they always wanted to come to our house.
Right.
Freaking having dance parties. And mom would let us like sleep all over the floor. And it was just, so I try to recreate that. Yeah. And so.
Yeah. And not a lot of rules either, right? Like you can sit on the counter. You can jump on the couch at our house, or you can the dog has peed on the carpet, by the way, several times, and it's still there. That's probably not going to get cleaned up for a little bit. Maybe that's not the best thing, but we don't prioritize. I think, it's always like, this is why we can't have nice things thing in your house, but it's true. Like every time we try to have something nice, it's completely ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not with boys and dogs and friends and, a lot of traffic through the house.
Yeah. A lot of traffic. Well, I had a lot of traffic with the 13 birthday party weekend with I don't know how many 13-year-old girls were in this house, all spread out all over the place. And I gave them the majority of the house and I hid in the bedroom. I would come out occasionally, but I'd let them do their thing. And, they were up until probably, I don't know, 3 a.m. And when I woke up in the morning, they had made themselves nuggets. They had ramen. There was bowls of ice cream everywhere. They had a full on party and they were passed out all over the place because my place isn't that big. So there was a couple of them on the bed with their mouths open like drool. Then there was one on the floor. She had put a couple push cushions on the floor. My kid was on the rocking chair, just kind of all awkwardly, mouth open. I was like, it looks like there was a full on college party here last night.
Right. Yeah.
But it was innocent. And
these kids know how to get down, for sure.
They were having one of my friends said to me, well, I love it that, you don't have this huge home to be able to host all these girls, but it's kind of they're getting their college experience. It's like they're in their dorm in a way.
Yeah.
And they're just making it happen, sleeping on the floor, sleeping on the couch, and just being independent and bonding and in a safe space. And it was.
I love that. That is such a great vision.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell. And you are not alone.
We are inspired by you. Thank you for joining our Creative Mamas community. Support Creative Mamas Unplugged on Patreon to get your name in the credits, receive extra content, and earn some fun prizes. With this, we can keep creating, uplifting, and growing this incredible community together. We love you so much. Applause.